What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot of great information to go over in today's video. I hope everyone enjoyed the three-day weekend from the market. Bitcoin has been exploding this weekend. We also have some news with oil and just some other stocks we are watching for this week. We're going to be covering some earnings and just some good setups in the market right now. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But with that being said, Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, I really just pulled up a daily chart of Bitcoin, and you can see how high it got, almost touching $50,000 this morning. And this is amazing. It is a record high for Bitcoin, but it would have been awesome to pop above that $50,000 mark. And this is amazing, as a lot of these Fortune 500 companies are getting really interested in digital currencies. And Tesla and Elon Musk, they played a key role in the hype for crypto right now as well. And Tesla revealed that they bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin last week in a filing. So that's interesting to see as well. And that's just making Bitcoin pop, and all these cryptos are just getting very hot right now, running up and up, like Doji, BTC, even ETH and stuff. They're all running, and Bitcoin is awesome, almost popping above 50,000. I wonder if it can actually get above it this week.
For sure. I mean, I'm sure it will break that 50,000 mark sometime soon, you would think. But Tom, we both know that this should affect MARA and RIOT a lot, and then even GBTC. So, guys, those are the stocks to look out for. If Bitcoin continues to explode, we could see whenever Bitcoin starts to run up, these three stocks really just explode. So, Tom, do you have any thoughts or insight here?
Yeah, I mean, with this, I'm really looking at GBTC. It has a pretty solid high here of 49.20. And also, I remember ARK also bought into GBTC last week into their fund as well. And that's awesome. And obviously, I think that they knew what was going on here with Bitcoin. And it looks like the GBTC is going to fly up above 49.20 to open up Tuesday morning. But it's going to just be an awesome thing to see what goes on with these. I think that 49.20 is going to be a good level to watch on GBTC, but it was just very interesting how ARKK called it and bought in right before this jump.
For sure. So, Tom, I heard there's some interesting news slash catalysts going on with oil right now. Can you fill us in there?
Yeah, CNBC actually reports that oil hits pandemic highs as winter storm pushes demands and poses production risk. And this is very interesting. Oil hit about 60.95, and you can see how much oil's actually been recovering here on the futures on a max daily chart. We hit lows of $6.50, and then now we're at highs at around 61, like I said. And this is all because of the pandemic and because of what's going on with winter right now. Texas actually just saw snow. I think Houston's 18 degrees and it's snowing there. I know where I live in Missouri that it snowed a lot. It snowed about 8 inches or something like that. And it's just the big cold front moved across the US and pretty much is just slowing down production on oil, which is why it had the pop. But I think that oil has been very interesting over the past couple months. It's just been climbing and climbing up to new highs. And I think a lot of people were expecting oil to kind of fall back down there. But one thing is that people said that Biden would make gas prices go quite a bit higher, and it looks like that's posing to be true as oil just keeps going up here.
Yeah, good stuff there. We definitely have some interesting catalysts going on in the oil sector, you could say, right now. But I also heard that there was some news with General Motors and how they have a new Chevy Volt. Can you give us some more info there?
Yeah, CNBC also reports that GM is unveiling an all-new Chevy Volt EUV, and it's all redesigned, but it's a less expensive Bolt EV. But there's also a new 2022 Bolt vehicle coming out that's going to be costing $34,000, and then there's a couple different variants. They have the EUV, the EV, and all those different ones. But there's a cheap version that costs $34,000, which is pretty cheap for an electric vehicle. And I actually have a picture of it here. I'm going to pull up, and it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite vehicle in the world as far as the electric vehicles, the designs have went, but man, it's just, it's awesome to see these coming out and these other companies really starting to innovate, like General Motors and Ford. And you can see that their stock prices have really been showing that innovation has been actually paying off. You can see General Motors rising this year quite a bit, as well as Ford popping up from around $5 all the way to $12.
True that. So, it is good, like you pointed out, to see how they're innovating. That's great. That'll be great for them for the long term. I'm looking at a GM Max weekly chart, and obviously, it's not the best chart in the world, but they've been doing pretty well recently. In the past year alone, they went from, or actually, yeah, they went from about $20 all the way up to 57. So it's great to see them innovating, and I'm excited to see what else they come out with. As far as like the electric vehicles, because we all know, anything to do with EVs or charging or batteries or anything like that, tend to do pretty well, like especially in this market. So I know we have a lot of earnings coming up. I know we had a lot of huge companies report earnings in the past month, like Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla. So what do we have for this week?
Yeah, for this week, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the earnings whispers chart again, and we have some very interesting ones. On Monday, the market was closed, but there was actually some companies that were set to report, which is strange. But on Tuesday, we have Palantir before open, CVS before open, Advanced Auto Parts, Solar Edge, which is going to be pretty interesting. Oxy on Tuesday as well, which is an oil company, and if oil goes up, Oxy generally does pretty good. So I wonder how they'll do. And then Wednesday, we have Shopify, Wix, Wingstop, Fastly, Tilray on Wednesday after close. That's going to be a big one, as well as Baidu and Twilio. Those are three pretty big stocks right there. And then Thursday, we have Walmart, Roku, Fiverr, Waste Management. And on Friday, we have John Deere and MoneyGram, as well as Ameren, which is a energy company. So there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on this week as well. It's not as big of a week as in earnings as it was last week, but there's definitely a lot of interesting and big companies on here.
For sure. I'm definitely going to be eyeing out Palantir, Shopify, Fastly, Tilray, Twilio, and Roku. Those have been some pretty big names in this past year. Are you watching anything specific?
Yeah, my favorite one is actually going to be Tilray, but like you said, Roku and Twilio, those two are just some amazing stocks as well, and they're around all-time highs, and I think that that's going to pose as a very interesting thing for earnings here, because earnings are going to have to do pretty good for these stocks for them to continue on these types of jumps. Like we can see since the beginning of the year, Roku jumped from 350 all the way up to 484.
For sure. And then even if you look at Tilray, like you pointed out, I mean, this stock in the past 9 months went from about $2.50 to highs of $67. That's crazy. And in the past, 2 months or 3 months, it went from about $10 to $67. So we definitely have an interesting week to say the least. But with that being said, let's get right into our member of the day and then momentum plays. So with our member of the day, we have Tina C. So thank you so much, Tina, for supporting us by commenting on the videos. Comments really help grow our channel. So thank you so much for commenting. It really helps. It really helps us grow. So thank you for that. And let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. So Tom, this first momentum play, I like it a lot. I think it's a pretty solid setup, and it's QS. So if this stock has momentum come tomorrow morning, I think it has a lot of potential. What do you think?
Yeah, I do too. It's been an awesome stock, very hot lately. It's trending above all the SMAs, which is an awesome technical to the upside for me. Make it pop above 56.16 tomorrow. And just keep in mind, if it pops above that in pre-market, you'll have to feel it out. But I really like the setup. Even on the daily chart, you can see how much potential it has back to the upside. And it hit highs of 132 over the past couple months.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not a huge fan of it for the long term right now, but for the short term, as you can see, like when it runs up, it has power to move like $50 in a day. So it's definitely a stock to keep on your radar. With the next one, we have Square also moving a lot.
Yeah, with this one, just go ahead and make them pop above 273.84 to the upside. And just like you said, that would be a brand new high. And it's just been moving a ton to the upside.
All right, with the next one, we have Chevron.
CVX, an oil company, and if oil keeps going up, that'll be great for Chevron and a lot of these companies. And it looks like Chevron needs to kind of recover back up there, and it could possibly retest about 103 to 104 if we see oil jump enough. But go ahead and make Chevron move above $93 tomorrow.
Sounds good. Well, let's get right into our unusual options activity for this week. We are looking at a $7.3 million trade. We are looking at the Riot 50 strike calls that expired this Friday, February 19th. So looking at the play, if Bitcoin continues to explode, I would expect RIOT to continue to explode. We could see it just had an amazing week last week, going from about, what is that, $23 all the way up to 52. If Bitcoin continues this hype and momentum, it definitely has a lot more potential, but it is still pretty risky. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's pretty risky on some of these stocks. You can see that how much that they've won up, like you said, over the past week or so. Obviously, if Bitcoin breaks above 50,000 and starts to run up more, then these stocks will break their highs and start to run up as well. But just keep in mind, you're gonna have to have a good risk management strategy when you trade these stocks. Like if you get in right now at $48, try to get out pretty quick. If at like 45 or something, don't bag hold these as they fall back down to like 25, if that does end up happening. But I do like the play though. I would think that they're longing these calls just given the momentum and everything, and it's pretty close to the money given how much this stock moves, I think.
Awesome. Well, let's get right into our comments from the previous episode. With the first comment, we have Alex actually having a pretty great comment about your stock, Tom, SPCE. But before we get into that, he said that great videos. I really appreciate your work. And he's been watching since we had less than 3,000 subscribers. So that's awesome to hear. If you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But let's get right into Alex's comment. So he said, what are your thoughts on the SPCE run up? I bought the 54 strike puts at $60, expecting a pullback. So SPCE fell about 8% on Friday. It's looking pretty good right now. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I actually like his trade there with the puts. I've actually been looking at this to the downside as well. It's really been running up. And the thing is, I really liked it, whenever it was at like $20 to $30. Now it's at $62. I think it could pull back. And they actually just delayed their test flight to go ahead and have some more like safety checks and stuff like that. But that could really make this stock fall in the short term. The big run up on this was because of their test flight. And I think that since they delayed that, that might actually make the stock fall. And man, those puts that he has, if this stock could pull back to like $50 or $45, those puts could do pretty well.
For sure. And with the next question, we have us saying, hey, Mike and Tom, I follow you guys every day. Could you give me an opinion on Amazon in the short term? I have a 3,300 strike call expiring on February 19th. Where do you think Amazon might move till Friday? So if we take a look at this, I just ran a probability test on it, and there's a 39% chance that Amazon will be above or will close above $3,300 by this Friday. So obviously it's not the best odds, but overall I like the way Amazon's moving. I think a lot of it's just going to depend how the overall market moves. I know the market has been a little bit shaky recently. So like if we see the market fall, I wouldn't feel too hot about this Amazon trade. But looking at the way the SPY and the NASDAQ and the Dow all closed on Friday, it has a lot of momentum. So if we can continue to see, these indices continue to run up, I think they would definitely benefit this trade.
Yeah, I think so too. And the SPY, like you said, that was an amazing close Friday, hitting all-time highs. I think if this can continue on Monday or on Tuesday, I should say, sorry, there was no trading today, but on Tuesday, I think that would really benefit Amazon, like you said. I really like Amazon though. The thing is, Jeff Bezos is stepping down. I don't know how that's going to affect it in the short term, but I do like it. As long as the SPY and stuff keeps going up, Amazon should do pretty good.
Yep. With the next question, we have Prime saying, hey guys, thanks for the show. Quick question. What do you think about DNN? So taking a look at this one, I'm looking at their max weekly chart right now, and I'm definitely not a fan of it. We can see that they IPO'd around, what is that, around $12 or $13, ran up to $15, and ever since that point, they've just been declining like rapidly. So I'm not a huge fan of it at all for the long term. For the short term, it might be okay for a quick trade, but I'm just not a huge fan of it either way.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. It pulled back. It actually fell below the 100 SMA. That's pretty bearish for me. You can see whenever it was above that, it was doing pretty well to the upside. And really, it had a lot of momentum, more of in pre-market, and then fell all throughout the day. So that's just something I really don't like to see too much, especially on like a stock that's this cheap as well.
Yep. And then with the next question, we have Lord saying, thanks for the videos. What are your thoughts on Verizon? So ticker symbol VZ. If we take a look at this over the long term, they've been doing pretty well. Obviously, it's not a stock that has huge growth. It's more of a slow and steady stock. What I do like for the short term, though, is like if they can retest like maybe this $53 level or even like this $50 level, it can present a pretty solid buying opportunity. They do give dividends, which is good. Overall, I mean, it's just like a safe and steady stock. I think it's good for like a long-term hold, but obviously it's not going to move like Tesla or Apple or like NIO or something like that. It's just more of a slow and steady stock.
Yeah, definitely. And 5G is coming out as well. And that could also boost this stock. But like you said, it looks very bearish in the short term. It looks like if it breaks $54, that would be a pretty good time to buy some puts on this, like you said, to go ahead and retest 50. And that's right on the 1,000 SMA as well. This is actually a pretty interesting setup here. And if we do see it fall down to 50, I might grab some shares just for the long term, because if 5G and stuff starts coming out, at least it might, retest highs of 60 or something.
For sure. And then, you're going to get those dividends I think they report every quarter. Let me check. Yeah, it looks like they give a dividend every quarter. So, it's good, good stock overall for the long term. With the next question, we have Dukes saying, what do you think about WCVC? So let's take a look at this one. So this stock is actually trading for less than a penny. So I would never trade a stock like this. Most companies like this end up diluting their shares so much, or just end up going out of business. So I wouldn't invest in this for the long term. But stocks like this, sometimes you're going to see them 10x or 20x, or sometimes just, have some crazy moves, which can be good for short-term trading. We could see in the past week, they've been doing pretty well. A lot of times with stocks like this, like you need like a big catalyst to come out or a lot of volume to start flowing in. Personally, I would never trade anything like this, but if you get lucky, it might explode.
Yeah, sometimes you can get really lucky on these OTC stocks. They're so cheap. You can buy them at like 0.001 and then they'll explode to like 0.005 and you just 5x your money right there on a simple, easy, little OTC stock. But at the same time, they're not very safe. They're pretty risky. And most of the time, these trades end up not working out. So just keep that in mind.
For sure. Well, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for this week?
Yeah, I'm really going to be trying to watch AMD this week. They're looking pretty strong. They're moving off the 100 SMA, and there's a lot of news coming out where a lot of these computer chip products and stuff like that are being delayed. And obviously, there's a lot of production problems with these computer chips. There's a lot of demand on them, and they're also having production problems because of the virus and stuff. So with that, if AMD breaks above like 94.22, I think it could be an awesome trade tomorrow morning. It's looking like it's setting up well to the upside. I really like the chart on the daily chart as well. It just looks like it's going to start to recover and maybe retest $100 per share this week.
Sounds good. Well, I'm eyeing QS. So this is a risky play, but if it catches momentum, it has a lot of potential. But that's only if it catches momentum. If it's not moving a lot come tomorrow morning, then the play probably won't work out. But if it catches momentum, starts to run up, has a lot of volume going with it, if you see a lot of people talking about it, it can be a good trade just for like a quick day trade or a very short-term swing. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to trade with Tom and I every single day, you can click the first link in the description down below. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.